You done now.
And welcome back, everybody, on the show. We're talking about the brand new season of Big Shot, Season 2 on Disney+. A couple of the stars are joining me right now. Tiana Lee and, of course, Sara Echeagaray. No, I didn't get it. Yes?
No, I mean, it's great. You did better. You did better this time.
I promise maybe by the end of the interview, we're going to get it. Now, I'm so excited to talk to both of you. Big Shot Season 2. Are you ready for this? Big Shot is my favorite show on television. My favorite.
You don't have to lie to us.
It's my favorite show on television. Starting with season 1, it's like my wife and I's guilty pleasure. My not even a guilty pleasure, just a regular pleasure. And my parents love it. But I'm gonna start with you, Tiana. Coming back for season 2, I'm sure you were so amped to get the phone call of we're gearing back up. We're doing here another season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had such a long break between season 1 and season 2 because we went through the whole pandemic, and then we had, to get people just ready to have more content. And so when I got that call, I was just so excited, not even just to I guess, quote unquote, have a job again, but just to see my family again. I mean, we really become such a family on set, and these are girls that I've grown up with. I mean, I think I started the show at 16. I'm turning 20 next month. So wow. I've really grown up with these girls, and getting that call was such a dream come true.
And Sara, I mean, this is your debut in the series of season 2. We start off hot and heavy. You're this, volleyball player with a little bit of a temper. And your character has a lot of influence in the show. I want to talk about it, but you getting that call, because a lot of people make the connection. You came from the TikTok world, of course, but before that, you were in theater, right? Or as we say in the South, you were in theater, right?
I was at theater, yes, of course. I mean, it's so crazy coming into all this, because I was so nervous because everyone was established, kind of like how Tiana said, that they were all a family already in season 1. And so coming into season 2, I was like, oh my God, I was just so nervous, but everyone was just so welcoming and so amazing. And it's just so different from the TikTok world, because here I am just acting on my phone. And then all of a sudden here I am to being actually on TV and on screen, because on TikTok, I was the director, I was the actress, I was the costume designer, I was everything. And then when you're on set, you are just the actor and you have an entire team backing up with you. And it's just so surreal and so a dream, I guess.
Tiana, what do we think about her entry into this? Because, okay, her character causes some great bonding, some chaos a little bit. But you said y'all grew up like a family, and having another person enter, what was the first vibe? What was your first impression?
Yeah, vibes were initially, I think we all sort of had heard, we were oh, okay, it's gonna be this girl, Sara, she's on TikTok, blah, blah, blah. So we would go to her, we went to her page. I was like, oh my God, I've literally seen her. I was like, oh my God. I was like, wait, what? And so then when we saw each other at the table read Zoom, so I didn't even get to physically meet her in person. I saw her at the table read Zoom, and she was sitting in the same spot she's sitting now. And I was like, okay, I like the kind of vibe. And then I remember the first day we rolled up into basketball practice, I was like, oh, this be tall. Sarah is
deceptively tall.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people underestimate my height, especially because they see me on TikTok, and they always just look at my face and they're like, you have a baby face. You look like you are 5'2". And then when I meet them in real life, they're like
taller, very tall.
They're just like, what? A glitch in the matrix? But
we were all super excited to have her, and I think us being a part of a group already, we sort of maybe felt a little confident in that, because it was well, if she does fit or she doesn't, we're gonna try our best, but at the end of the day, it's 5v1, so I don't know.
Her court, baby, balls in her court.
Now, I'm fascinated by this. Y'all had a basketball boot camp, is this right? To sharpen the skills. I got to know, who has the most game out of the squad? Who's winning one-on-one? Who am I betting on here? Is it
this
Sara?
One's super easy. No, this one's super easy. It's Tiana.
It's definitely me. I hate to say it because I feel so bad, but it is true. It's me.
Waiting for it to marinate too. Did you see her? She was just like,
I was
like, say it. I was like, say it. I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say it. Yeah. It's definitely me. But I've always been like crazy athletic ever since. Well, I won't say crazy athletic, not to, but I've always loved sports. And I played like every sport in high school possible. I rode crew. I played golf. I did track and field. I wrestled, like anything I could try. I played soccer. I wanted to. And it was funny because basketball was the only sport I did not do. So coming into Big Shot, I was like, oh, I got to learn another one. And so we had a boot camp for season 1, which was like every day we woke up 8 a.m., practiced till 12, like all the girls just really getting to know each other. And then Sarah got lucky because season 2 was not nearly as bad.
Yeah, no.
And that season 2, though, I think was a lot more of just like being able to refine the tiny skills. Like, like if we wanted to like have ball handling that we wanted to include in the show, we had kind of the foundations already. But I would say I definitely took it to a next level. Like over quarantine, I was like at the park. I was in the gym. I was playing pickup games I had no business being in. I was getting dunked on, swatted, cookies taken from me. Like I was in the streets. But hey, pressure makes diamonds. I really was building myself up.
Honestly, I think my boot camp experience is a lot different because how you said it was like more simpler for me. And they were just like, here's how you do it. And they're just like working in form. But then immediately after I had volleyball camp, which these girls did not have. It was just me. It was me and basketball. So like immediately after basketball camp, I was like, okay, time to go to Santa Monica and go on the beach and play volleyball. So it was also just like the best of both worlds at the same time. But it was a good workout, I would say.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. Now, did y'all ever like say, okay, you know what, the cameras are off. It's time. Let's split up the squad. Let's do a 3-on-3. Let's run it. Let's see who's going to win. Did y'all try that? Did we have some of this? Yeah.
We practiced with real basketball girls, like girls who played overseas, awesome. Played in college, D1, all of that. And our coordinator, Keela Snowden, she played at Kentucky. And so she brought in like some of her old Kentucky girls. We had girls from Indiana. And after the basketball practice, she'd be like, hey, do y'all want to play like 5-on-5? And like all of us wheezing after a 3-hour practice, we're like, yeah, just, once, but yeah, sure. And it's just so fun. You end up like loving the sport. And I definitely love basketball now.
Okay. So there was a lot made, in the trailers. I don't want to give too much away, but there's a lot made of like, oh, boys are here now. Like we have boys on the campus, right? I have to know, Sarah, like what was the group text like? When the boys showed up on set, I mean, were we scoping out anybody, or was it just kind of like, oh, okay, I see these guys over here. Let's see what they can bring to the show.
We were like, oh, look at these fools thinking that they own the place. I mean, if anything, we were just like, oh, cool. Like there's boys, like it's going to switch up the plot. Not necessarily for us. We're just like, it's so cool to see something different this season. But I think it was just like, very different from season 1 because I also binge watched season 1 too, and I really loved it. And I just thought it was like a fun and fresh take, to be honest. And I just thought it was cool what the writers did with it.
Oh, I thought it was really good to like move the story forward. And for me, and Tiana, maybe you can relate to this since you played sports in high school. After I graduated college, I actually taught in a high school for a year, and I was always around the athletic department. What was cool about our school is soccer was the main sport. And the boys' team was garbage. And so everybody, they know it too. So everybody would go to the girls' game because the girls' team was awesome. I mean, they rocked. And so on game days, everyone came decked out. I thought it was really cool because when I was in high school, we didn't have that experience. So it was cool to see like the female athletics at the forefront of the school. Yeah. Do you think that Big Shot has had, or have you heard of an impact that Big Shot has had on like female athletics in a high school?
I've heard a lot of the individual stories that we get. We get a lot of DMs, and even the people that we will casually meet kind of in the street, or if we, go to Disneyland, the people that come up to us, the girls, the women who come up to us and they say like, oh my God, like Big Shot really made me feel seen. It reminded me of all these experiences I had in my high school where the boys did get better equipment, or the boys, people did go to the boys games, or like, oh, Coach Korn reminds me of my coach. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry. But I think the coolest thing about Big Shot is that we do get to show these girls kind of being bosses, being the forefront of their school, of their sport. And I just love it when, little girls come up to me and they're like, I want to play basketball too, because you guys make it look so cool. And I started camp and I started doing all these things. And so I think it's great because you have to be able to see the things that you want to be.
Yeah, and you're right. The girls, y'all's characters in the cast, y'all are all bosses in your own right. Destiny was like, who did the video game? I'm going to go find out. I'm going to run up at a table. I'm going to break the toy or whatever it was. I love it. Now, Sara, I know you're joining the cast this season, obviously, but you have great veteran actors to work off of. John Stamos being one, Jessalyn Gilsig, who's somebody I got to talk to a couple of days ago. Awesome actress. There's a quote that says, you borrow from the good, but you steal from the great. Is there anything that you learned from the two of them that you like, oh, okay, for my next role, okay, I learned this from John, or I learned this from Jessalyn?
I mean, not to be like into like specifics, I would say it's more of just like watching them work the camera and how they would just like help you in a way where they're just like, they welcome your choices as well, which is so comforting, I would say, because I would say I'm like relatively new to this world, and working with veterans like Jessalyn and John and Yvette Nicole Brown too, they really just put everything into perspective, and they honestly just like take the reins in the scene, and it's just so cool to see and experience. And I feel like so lucky, and I think Tiana also agrees with this, like working with them is just like seeing magic happen. And the way they just like feed off of each other's energy, it's something that I wish and hope that I can work towards as an actress as well myself. And it's just magic, I would say.
Would you agree with that, Tiana?
I do, 100%. I mean, working with them is like, it's like watching a masterclass every single day. And especially Miss Yvette Nicole Brown, she's one of those people that like when you watch her act, she'll take a line that's not really supposed to be funny, but just because of how in tune her character she is, you enjoy, like you laugh, you just have to. Yeah. And I think that what you really learn from all three of them, Jessalyn, John, Yvette, you just learn how to take the character, but like read more than what's on the page. Like you really get to make it who you are, and the environment they create is so safe that that if you experiment with something and you try to make something funny, you don't, and it just flops, no one's gonna laugh. They're just gonna be like, we're not using that take, let's do it again. This time, don't do that. And it's just, it's a really fun experience, and it's a great environment on set, and we're super lucky to have them.
Yeah. You definitely can always learn from, run faster when somebody's chasing you, as we say in Texas, right, Sarah? I'm going to say again, this is one of the best shows on television, my favorite show on television. Tiana, you'd be happy to know that my parents, who are both in their 70s, you're their favorite character on the show, if I can say that. Oh my gosh! They love them some Destiny, as we all do. We love y'all all. Yes. How you guys doing? Yes. But again, much success to y'all. I'll be cheering for a season 3 of The Big Shot, and just thank y'all so much for taking the time to talk to me about this excellent show y'all have.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you so much.